welcome back to Real Spill. This is the show where we not only rub shoulders with your favorites in arts and entertainment in the land of the brave, but we also get to have a heart-to-heart and pick the brains of the people who make arts and entertainment in this country worth following. Now, today's guest, is I think one of our biggest exports when it comes to arts and entertainment in the country. She is the first to do so many things from the land of the brave. We're talking about the brand ambassador of Pretty Vibes Only, Miss G on the beat. Hey, girl.
Hi, Esther. I love that intro, actually. Thank you.
No, thank you. Girl, how are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. How are you doing, Esther?
I'm amazing, thank you.
I'm glad you are.
So when you think back now, because Namibians can only be proud of you because you've done so many firsts. You've put Namibia on the map, and you've also just made a name for yourself internationally. When you think back to all these things that you, a little girl from Namibia, has accomplished, like what goes through your mind?
It's I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. It's like, sometimes you feel like you can't accomplish something, and then it starts unfolding in front of your eyes, and then you're like, wow, I actually did that.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's a large amount of, just overwhelming by greatness. It's just a beautiful thing to witness, like being able to show kids that are younger than me that, your dreams are valid and you can always, get what you want or what you put your mind to. So it really feels great for me, and I'm just very proud of that girl. I'm proud of her. Yeah.
Amazing. All right, so you are one of the most buzzing musicians right now. Where did your love for music stem from, and how did you actually decide that, hey, I'm not just going to be on the sidelines, I'm going to be a contributor in this music thing?
That's actually a very interesting story because I've always loved music my whole life. Like ever since I could speak, I was singing, but then I never knew I would take it this far. So basically, when I started singing, I was just singing for fun, just singing because I really loved doing something, and just because it happened naturally for me. Like I would be busy with a chore at home, and I would just be hemming different stuff, and my parents or my family would always be like, "Yeah, you're making noise," stuff like that. So I just started it, and from there, it's like I went to uni. And actually not uni, I skipped something. I went to high school after that, after my primary school, of course. And then I went to high school and I took part in, what do you call it? It's talent show. My first ever performance. And I remember I was singing this song by Lucas Graham, 7 years old. And the crowd took out the flashlights, and everybody was, doing the thing, the movement, the hand movement with the flashlights. And in that moment, it just felt surreal, man, because it's like I was always this person with stage frights. So I was like, ish, am I gonna do it? And then my friends were like, girl, just do it. And then I did it. And then after that, I took a gap year after my high school. And then in that gap year is when I discovered my love for music, actually, I can actually go in the studio and create something. And that's when I created Pretty Vibes. So the love, or let's say the love for creating music started in that year after my high school year.
Love it.
Yeah.
And going into music, I know there's all these other influences. You probably see someone that you look up to and you're like, I want to sound similar to that, or I'm inspired to do that sort of style. Who are some of the people that you looked up to in music when you first kick-started your career?
I wouldn't say it started when I kick-started my career. It was more like just whose music was I more attracted to, growing up as a kid. Like the ladies that I used to listen to, like Tequila, love her, she's so great, she's a very talented woman. I used to listen to Brenda, I used to listen to Tiwa Savage, and those are just, some of my, beautiful inspirations, I like to call them, because it's just women doing great things.
Yeah.
And I really love, how they carry the music scene and just who they are in general. So yeah, I would like to say those are some of the people.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So a lot of musicians, when you sit down and you speak to them and you ask them how they started loving music, many of them will tell you, I'm from a musical family, my mom was in a choir, my cousin used to play drums in church or something. So that's not the case for you.
No. So I would like to say I'm probably like the first in my family, to be so captivated by the music scene and just everything. Like I said, like I used to sing a lot at home. I used to make covers, and like every time I'd be, you know, sitting there in the sitting room making my covers, it's like they'll be like, oh, again you like Vadmaki, what are you doing? Like, you know, so I wouldn't really say they are musical. I think I'm the first one, so I'm probably starting something.
The first in your family to go into music, and then the first in Namibia to get signed by Sony Entertainment.
You see, I think it's God's plan.
It's God's plan. All the pieces are falling in line. But before we get to that, how was your, I mean, like you said, they aren't really musical. So when you went and told them that, listen, family, I'm going into music full time, what was the response like?
It was actually, my family is actually very, very supportive. My mom just had, because my mom is like a bookworm, so she just had this one thing of, you know, as long as you're in school and you're still doing your music, like we have a deal. And they saw that, you know, how I really, you know, enjoyed it, how it brought me peace, how I just really loved it, like, you know, from the jump. And then when they saw everything is now falling into place, because now she started from doing covers at home, we are telling her she's making noise, and now people are cheering for her in bigger crowds and whatsoever. So also, they say that black families don't support something unless they see you actually gaining something from it. Which is not a good thing, but it's also not really a bad thing, you know, knowing from where we come from. You understand? So they just really want the best for you. It's not coming from a place of, no, we don't want you to chase your dreams. It's coming from a place of, oh, let's be realistic. So when they see it's working out for you, it's great for you, they love it for you, but also just, you know, have a backup plan on the side, you know? Because as we come from Namibia, we have a small population. Music is still a growing scene, so it's just, you know, I think something to fall back on.
Valid. So I think that's a very beautiful sort of contrast that you painted, where you were in the living room singing for, you know, whoever follows you online, and they were like, bro, like, you're making noise, stop it. And then from that to you actually on a stage, and there's like thousands of people chanting your name. In fact, they were asking you for more because the 2 songs you performed are not enough. So that's a beautiful contrast to see your evolution as well. But when you first put out music for the first time and it went live and you knew that this is a full body of work that people are going to listen to, did it make you nervous, or how did you feel when your very first musical production went live?
I was still like an amateur with Pretty Vibes, you know. Actually, with Pretty Vibes, I didn't even think it was gonna kick off the way it did. I was just, you know, doing what I love, and the rest just followed. And in that moment with Pretty Vibes, it was, I don't know, I'm finding the right words to use. It's like you're so young and fresh in it. So like, you're just doing what you love, but you don't know like the consequences that come with it. So it's like, I made this song, now it's time for you to perform it. So then I remember one day I'm standing on stage, you know, and now I'm there, I have the mic, yes, but like I'm standing in the middle of the stage, and you know, like a primary school kid, like who's brought in front of a stage in front of people, and it's like, people are really happy for you. You can see that people are engaging with the song, but it's just, you know, that stage fright where you just don't know what to do. So I also went through those moments where I was just standing in front of the stage, and I would like to say it's a thing of you're still getting out of your shell, you're still trying to be yourself, you're still finding yourself. And in that moment, it's just, I learned from it though, because, you know, you keep improving, you know, the bigger you get, the more gigs you do, you start becoming better at what you do. Your stage presence becomes, you know, you're not afraid anymore, because now I'm Miss Gideon and I'm here to show you guys what I've cooked for you. So now things have changed.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, that's how it started.
Yeah. And then it was beautiful to see how people received you and your music as well. And I think Pretty Vibes was very successful. You know, these people that do street interviews somewhere in Germany, people are being asked, what's your favorite song at the moment? And somebody says Pretty Vibes, and they're all the way in another country. So what did the success of this song mean to you?
I would say the success of Pretty Vibes was, I would say it's what made me today. It's what brought me here. You know, apart from the covers, of course, but Pretty Vibes was the real body of work that was created by me. You know, it's like something that I'm proud of to say that, oh, I also created this. Because I used to, just, tapping into other people's creation, but now it's like you actually have something that you created for yourself and something that other people are chanting, just like how you were chanting somebody else's creation. So it really, it made me who I am today. It played a part, rather, in who I am today. And I don't think if we skip that part of Pretty Vibes, if we skipped the era of Pretty Vibes, Miss Gideon would be Miss Gideon today. So I'm forever grateful to that project.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So these are the stepping stones that made the bigger brand, or the brand that we're seeing today, and the results that are materializing today.
Yes, ma'am.
We're in conversation with Ms. Gideon on The Real Spill. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
Namibia is a land of movement, with waves that never stop reaching forward. Here, adventure is not something we search for. It is something we are born into. In every corner of this country, creativity rises, from artists, from athletes, from dreamers. And when the world comes to explore Namibia, they discover something extraordinary. Because when sport moves people, creativity moves ideas, and tourism moves the world toward us. Something powerful happens. A platform where movement meets imagination, where industries connect, where opportunity grows, where Namibia's next chapter begins. Welcome to the Creative Sport Tourism Expo. Exhibit, partner, experience. Creative sport tourism.
You are still tuned in to Real Spill, and we're here with your fave, the ambassador of Pretty Vibes Only, and we're just talking about, the impact that very first musical release had, and until today, people still request Pretty Vibes, and I was just telling her that it actually became a pandemic at the time that it came out, because wherever you look, wherever you turn, everybody was blasting Pretty Vibes. So this was, one of your first bodies of work that you put out, which eventually propelled you to the career that you have right now. And you spoke a lot about, gratitude and not skipping these moments as part of your journey. But can you talk to us about, some of the challenges that you faced trying to break through in the music industry?
I would say, for me, it was a blessing, or it's a blessing to be who I am. Because right now, if I was to say that the only challenges that I faced was not actually, stepping into the music scene. Those were not the challenges that I faced, actually. I actually don't think or feel like I really had that much problem when I was starting. The problems are coming now. The problems are coming now. I think the only problem that time was just, stage fright. I would say that was the only challenge that I had in the beginning. But like as you progress, the things become more because...
Please, what are you going through? What are the challenges that you're faced with?
I don't know. Sunny Boy always says, he said this in a song that we have together, Dream. And I always play it back. It says that they love you, then they hate you, then they love you again. And those are words that will always stick with me, you understand?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I went through a phase is when I stepped into the music scene. Everybody loves you. They're cheering on for you. They're like, oh, who's this person and whatsoever. Everybody's loving what you're doing. And then now that they see that you openly do what you love, then they start hating you. Because one day I woke up and the whole internet was after me.
Oh.
Because of a word that I used in a song. So those are the challenges that people don't face. I mean, that people don't speak about that artist face.
Yeah.
Because now it's like now you are sitting at home and you are being cyberbullied, but they don't think they are cyberbullying you because they think, oh, it's just a conversation and whatsoever. It's just people having fun online. But where does the mental health for artists come from if the same people that are supposed to be supporting you are the same people that are breaking you down? And that's where you see, okay, I'm growing now, because they say you're not doing anything good if you don't have a little bit of hate.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's really like that, but now I take it like that, because it's like the bigger you get, the more hate you get also.
Yeah.
Which is a bit, those are the real challenges that people don't speak about. And people feel like maybe, artists have, we are maybe made out of stone or steel or something, because it's like people say stuff online without remorse, man.
Yeah.
They don't really care what it is. They don't care what they're saying about you. They just type and they're sitting in the comfort of their own home. So I just want to, tell every artist out there, like, you're doing great. Keep pushing yourself and do not let people, speak down on you or whatever, because you started this yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Very brilliantly said. And I think also just to draw that contrast, that like it's literally the same people whose support you need, or who's, you're putting out music for them, or you're doing this entertainment thing for them. Those are the same people that come and still, give you backlash over certain things.
Yep.
And so how do you recover from that? Because at the end of the day, you still need to go and post this music online where people were bashing you and be like, guys, please support my song. And then, there's still some negative comments that come in. How do you sort of remove that emotional aspect sort of and just move on from there?
Okay, I don't know exactly how other people deal with it, but as for me, it's my vision. I choose what I want to see. So I don't go seeking for comments that are unnecessary. I stick to my page and my page only. Whatever is on the other person or other people's blogs and whatever people who post about me and stuff like that. Shout out to you guys, by the way. Thank you for pushing my music. And I don't really, engage in those negative comments, because this is not what I'm here for. This is not what brought me this far. I started this thing because I knew what I wanted to do, and it was working for me. People only start hating on you or hating it because you are kind of gaining more confidence in yourself. So when they see you, they hate to see you confident. They hate to see you know that I'm doing great. You understand?
Yeah.
And that's something that I always feel like you shouldn't overlook. Just because someone else is looking down on you doesn't mean that the next person won't. Because to be fair, there's still people who support you.
Yeah.
But then, they keep falling out as you grow, because, I don't know, maybe people just... it's still a study that I need to study as to why people act the way that they do. But a way to deal with it is just don't engage with negative comments, never engage actually, when something is not positive, because it's pretty vibes only. And that's the only way to go, man. Because if you focus on negativity, your brain will be negative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's that on that. I really love your approach. Focus on the positive, block out the negative, because people will always have something to say, and especially when you're in the spotlight, everybody has an opinion. But like you said, not everybody is bold enough to claim these opinions. They just type from the comfort of their homes.
Because I've never, till this day, nobody has ever walked up to me and said anything, which is great.
Yeah.
Because that's comes to show that these things are only back at home, online. Everybody in your face loves you. You understand?
Yeah.
The same people who speak about you online could come up to you today and be like, oh, I love what you do. Whether you're being fake or not, it's really not my story. But it's just the fact that, to say that people are not bold enough to come tell you those things up front. So just do you, keep doing you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's pretty vibes only. We focus on
Exactly.
the positive. Sony Music Africa.
Come on now.
Has it sunk in?
Not yet.
What does this signing mean to you? I mean, it means a great deal to Namibia, because you literally are the very first. What does this mean to you?
It's great, man. It's great to, experience something like this, especially, being the first one to bring it home. It just means a lot to me, because it means that, like, I'm doing something great. I'm creating something that generations could look up to.
Yeah.
I started something that I always refer to people who are younger than me, because I feel like those are the people that I leave to show that life could be different. You understand? So that's just a great thing to show people behind me that, or people younger than me, that, oh, you can also achieve this if you wanted to. And it's just such a great opportunity to be able to, you know, put Namibia's music also a little bit up there where all the other African countries are seated.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm just, you know, also hoping for the best in my journey. And I pray over my life every day because the world is not happy.
Yeah.
So I just try to, you know, positive vibes, focus. My main focus is always to put out good music and just, you know, diversify my art and just reach different people who, or different areas of people who, like, you know, who have, you know, some people listen to different genres, so I also want to tap into that and just capture different audiences. Yeah.
So are we expecting a new body of work?
Of course.
What can you tell us?
Back to back.
Back to back?
Back to back. Back
So,
to back.
Before the end of the year?
Of course, back to back. I'm telling you, girl,
Okay.
back to back. I might just drop
Okay.
10 songs this year.
Oh,
Exactly.
we can't wait.
I might just.
We absolutely cannot wait. But talk to us about, you know, what have been the major differences that you felt since signing to Sony? I mean, before you were independent and now you're signed to, you know, one of the biggest musical platforms there is on the continent. What are some of the noticeable differences that you've noticed?
It's just that extra push that they give you, you know? It's like they really make it a point to have other audiences actually reach you. Because now they push your music towards, you know, different countries. Because now I really see people from different areas tapping into my music and people from different countries be like, oh, this is great and whatsoever. And that's just sometimes a little push that a creative needs so you can, you know, keep creating.
Yeah.
Because as much as people feel like, oh, my comment won't matter and whatsoever, it matters as long as it's positive and as long as it's uplifting somebody else.
Yeah.
You understand? So that push that Sony is giving to me right now, I feel like that's the push that I really, really, really needed in my life.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And your most recent song, Tiki Tak, is out, and you know people have been reacting online. I saw a few remixes of people putting in their own verses there. How does that make you feel?
I mean, it's great because looking at them, it's like, oh, I was once them. So now it's like I'm in this era
like a full
where
circle
it's
moment.
Exactly my point. So it's humbling, man. You know, it's. Wow, I always say I don't have words to describe this moment or the things that I feel regarding music and how just people tap into it. So I will always be grateful for people who also push my music because they are pushing my music indirectly as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So another big milestone is in 2024 you performed at the Apollo Theatre. What was that experience like and what did it mean to your career? How did it shape your career?
It was nerve-wracking, but it was definitely like a beautiful experience because I got to experience how people do stuff, you know, how shows, you know, sound check, everything was different, everything, you know, just sounded great. I was in this different space with different audiences. I was like very, very nervous and shy, but I was like, you know, girl, give it your all and see where this comes. And this is actually part of the reason why I ended up in Sony today. So, I mean, being signed by Sony today. So that 2024 shaped my life into today.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
So what are some of the moments that you can tell us, like behind the scenes, that we didn't get to see? You know, like, yes, of course we didn't see that you were a nervous wreck, but you still pulled through. But what were some of the moments, maybe on the sidelines, or some of the encounters that you had during that experience that really stay with you until today?
Like I mentioned, that performance in 2024 is what shaped or what brought me to today. So some of the conversations that I was having, obviously in the background, is like after I was done performing, I had, you know, different individuals from different countries come up to me and be like, no, you are so great, where are you from? And I got to tell them my story. I got to tell them that, no, I just want to push my music further. And, you know, they were trying to look for opportunities for me to be where I am today. And I'm also always very grateful to those people. So those are just some of the things that, you know, people really don't see. You know, things just, like I said, it's God's plan, man.
It's God's plan.
It's aligning. Yeah.
All right, amazing. So I think what maybe other musicians can take from here is that you should always be ready to put yourself out there in terms of networking, tell your story, give people more than what they anticipated, because just because the show is over doesn't mean the show is over.
Exactly.
You still need to rub shoulders and network, etc. So Ms. G, before we let you go, You know, what are some of the hopes and dreams that you have for Namibia's entertainment industry? You know, being a musician yourself, you've been part of the industry, you know the challenges that artists face. What are the things that you hope to see within the near future that are going to improve for musicians in the country?
Just, you know, give artists more, you know, creative spaces, give artists opportunities, because, you know, we don't really, you know, get recognition for the work that we do, especially like coming from a smaller country. So we are still trying to branch out there and still be recognized internationally, like bring a Grammy home, perform at Coachella, perform at all these other places that other African people also perform at, and also the whole world is basically performing at Coachella. We have different artists from everywhere. So those are just one of the things that I hope, you know, at least, you know, someday Namibians would also reach that level and would also be able to just showcase our talent as much as other people are also showcasing their talent.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well said. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation and having this chat with us. This has been Real Spill with one of your faves, Miss G, Pretty Vibes Only, and we will catch you on the next one.